This Roman soldier is about to die, and he never sees the arrow coming, because the man who killed him is riding the other way. At a full gallop, with his back turned, this horseman twisted around in the saddle and fired backward, straight into a man chasing him down. And for nearly 300 years, the greatest war machine the ancient world had ever seen could not figure out how to stop it. How is that even possible? Stay there, you are about to watch it win a war. These are the Parthians, and in 53 BC, they did something to a Roman army of 40,000 men that Rome spent the next 300 years trying to forget. Here is the strange part. Everything Rome relied on, the Parthians did not have. No cities to besiege, no fleet to sink, no fortress walls to break down. You could not conquer them the way Rome conquered everyone else, because there was nothing to capture, just horsemen and a horizon. They began as nomadic riders from the steppes east of the Caspian, and from those wandering tribes grew an empire that touched Rome's border and the edge of India in the same breath. The empire itself would build great cities, but its heart never stopped being the same thing it started as: a man, a horse, and a bow. Now imagine you are a Roman legionary. You have trained your whole life to fight up close, shield locked, sword ready, shoulder to shoulder. But this enemy will not play your game. They never charge, they never stand still. They circle you, a swirling storm of riders, pouring arrows down from a distance your weapons cannot even reach. You raise your shield, another arrow finds your leg. You step forward. They simply ride back, still firing. How do you fight an enemy you cannot catch? You do not. And the Romans were about to learn that the hard way. And just when you think the arrows are the worst of it, the dust parts, and the real nightmare walks out of it. These are the cataphracts, horse and rider both, sheathed head to hoof in scale armor, a wall of living metal. Picture a knight, 1,000 years before knights, on an armored horse, lowering a lance as long as a tree. The arrows wore you down. Then the Iron Men charged in to shatter whatever was left of your line. But here is the thing, neither the arrows nor the Iron Men were the trick that truly made Rome fear them. That was still coming. The Parthians would suddenly turn and flee. To a Roman, that looked like victory. So you chase. You break formation, you push forward, certain you have won. That is exactly what they wanted. Because at a full gallop, with their backs to you, they twist around in the saddle and fire backward, straight into your face. Retreat turns into a trap. We still have a name for it today, the Parthian shot, a neat trick on a battlefield. But once, just once, a Parthian commander used it to erase an entire Roman army and kill one of the most powerful men who ever lived. That is where we are going. 53 BC. A Roman named Crassus, the richest man in Rome, with a fortune so vast it rivaled the state's own coffers, wants military glory to match his gold. Remember the gold, it matters at the end in a way you will not expect. So he marches roughly 40,000 men into the open desert of the east, hunting an easy win. Waiting for him near a town called Carrhae, only about 10,000 Parthians, outnumbered 4-1. But their commander had a plan, and 1,000 camels loaded with nothing but spare arrows. The Romans thought the enemy would run out. They were wrong. The arrows came, and they never stopped. Every time the Romans charged, the horsemen melted away and fired backward. The Parthian shot over and over. Every time they huddled behind shields, the cataphracts smashed into them like a hammer. Crassus's son led a breakout. He was killed, and his head paraded on a spear. And Crassus himself? He died there in the dust. Then comes the legend. The story says the Parthians poured molten gold down his throat a final insult to the man who could never get enough of it. An empire Rome marched against for almost 3 centuries and never truly conquered. And the most unbelievable part? The Parthians were not even trying to conquer Rome. They just wanted to be left alone, which is exactly why Rome could never beat them. So which surprised you more, the gold or the arrow fired backward at a full gallop? Tell us in the comments, and subscribe because next time we meet the people who built the Great Wall of China, the wall the whole world still remembers.